channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Anna and I'm a 22-year-old full-time stay-at-home wife. Today's video is going to be two parts. So the first part is going to be all about my favorite apps. I use these apps every week, if not every day. Some of them is a definite everyday use, some of them is every week, but these are my favorite apps, and then in part two will be my favorite physical items. If you see me looking down, I just have my notebook here. I just took some notes on points I wanted to make, and there's Leo in the background. So the first app that I want to talk about is Google Calendar. This is a lifesaver for my husband and I because we both have busy schedules, and so we can have a shared calendar. I know some people that still use a printed calendar like at home, or one that's on the wall hanging. That's great, but it always is so nice when I have my Google Calendar to be able to check when I'm, out and about and my friends are like, hey, you want to get brunch on this day? Then I can check, I can put it in, and then if Chandler has something, he can see that, like, oh, Anna has brunch that day, like if someone's trying to schedule something. It's just open communication. It's the best. So you don't have to wait to get home to know if you're free. You can just, schedule something that day whenever you want to. You can share it, like I kind of mentioned, which is awesome. And then you can also have certain calendars that are not shared. So my husband Chandler has his work calendar on there, but I don't see his work stuff. I just see his personal stuff. So he sees, both his personal and work. And so it's really convenient for him, really convenient for me, like just to know what we're doing. And then usually we don't, like double book or anything like that. So the next app that I absolutely love is called Our Groceries. And this is just a grocery list. It's literally that simple, but I prefer this app over, let's say, putting it in your notes, because you can just easily tap to delete. You can tap to undelete. You can delete all. You can have as many lists as you like. And so that's one feature that I love, because I have a grocery list, I have an upcoming meal list, Chandler present ideas, house items to buy. Like, I have so many lists in there, and I don't know why. I just prefer it over notes, my notes app, because in my notes app, I have some things that aren't lists. So I guess I just like to have all my lists in one app. And so that's the one I recommend, Our Groceries. And just a side note, I didn't say this at the beginning, I should have. All these apps are free. And of course there's premium, but I don't have premium in any of these. And so you can get the free version and they work great. What I love about the grocery app is that I have my phone a lot of the time. And so if I'm out and about and I see something, I'm like, oh, I need to get that. I can quickly just put it on my app. If I'm in the bathroom, let's say, like doing my hair and I need hairspray, I don't have to walk all the way down to the kitchen and remember, oh, put hairspray on the list. I can just do it right in the bathroom. And in that way, I don't forget, because I feel like if I had a physical list in my kitchen, I would never remember, like by the time I got down back to the kitchen, I would never remember what to put on the list. It's so simple, so convenient, and then it just ensures that I don't forget anything. The third app that I absolutely love is called Planta. And if you're into houseplants, this is an amazing app. If you are not into houseplants, I'm sorry, you can skip over this one. It's amazing. So I have many plants, and probably I would say 8 to 10 plants. What I love about Planta, number one, is that I know what my plants are called. So I just love knowing, like, oh, that's a snake plant, that's a prayer plant, or, whatever. And so that keeps track for me in the app. Like, I'll forget if something is called something, or I won't know what it is. So you can snap a picture, it tells you what it's called. And then it also gives you other information like humidity, how many times you need to water it, how many times you need to repot it, soil information, and all that type of stuff. You can discover new plants. You can make a wish list of plants you want. You can, you can diagnose problems. I think you can do that without the premium. I know I don't have premium, and I think you might have to have premium to diagnose the problems. Like if you have, browning of the leaves or something. However, I just usually Google it because I don't want to pay for premium. And then one other thing that I absolutely love is that you can take pictures of your plants and put them in there. You have different sites. And so like my sites would be living room, sitting room, bedroom, like wherever it is. And it will tell you, like you tell it how far away the window is, how much light there is, and it will tell you if it is a good spot for that plant, like if it will thrive in that site. So I love that app just to know more about the plants. Usually I don't need it to remind me to water, but just to know like, oh, this one loves to be humid, so I'm going to mist that one, every week. So that's my plant app that I use. All right, I'm only halfway through. No, not even halfway through. I'm going to open a Celsius. If you want to, go grab a snack, go grab a drink, whatever you want. I love Celsius. All right, so my fourth app that I love is Goodreads. So this is really fun if you have friends that read or, family that reads, because on Goodreads, you can not only track how many books you read, you can rate them, you can read reviews, you can leave a review, you can put books on a wish list, and you can add Facebook friends. So I have like some Facebook friends, we share the same genres that we like, and so that's super fun. I actually have a good friend, and we can look through our Goodreads app together. We're like, oh, did you read this? Did you read this? And if not, we put a book on our wish list, and it's just so fun. You can read, about the book, and so then you're not like having to do that in a library or in Barnes and Noble, because that can take a lot of time, like figuring out which books you want to read, like you're reading the backs of covers, which I do love doing that a lot of the times, but it's fun too, like if you're just, having your morning coffee and you want to look at books you want to read, or if you see one on TikTok, then you can just go right to your app and put it right on your wish list. And I just love that I can rate them, because then it curates recommendations for you based on your ratings, kind of like how Netflix does it, but it's for books. The next app is Every Dollar by Dave Ramsey, and this is a budgeting app. My husband and I both use this. We absolutely love it because you can, break everything into categories, of course, like insurance, gas, miscellaneous, restaurants, like anything you want, and it's a great way to be aware of how much money you spend. I feel like it's very easy to be like, oh, coffee here, coffee there, coffee here. Like, oh, I'm not spending that much money on anything, when in reality, it's like $100 a month for just coffee, that I'm being dramatic, but I'm sure some people out there do spend that much. And when you think about, what $100 could give you in something else, like it's just very nice to have the awareness of how much you're spending. The next app is one that I don't use, I guess, every week, but when you need it, it's super convenient. I haven't needed it a lot, but it's called Slide-Dial, and you put someone's phone number in and it goes straight to voicemail. So I'm sure you've had an instance where you want to tell someone something, it's too long to text, but you're like, they talk a lot, or whatever, you don't want to talk to them. Maybe it's like a weird topic that you have to, maybe it's your boss and you don't want to talk to them, like you just need to leave them a message. This app goes right to voicemail on their end. It doesn't even tell them that their phone rang, so they'll just get a notification that says voicemail from you. And this is credit to Chandler because he found this one. Now, I would definitely play around with it with someone that's close to you. Maybe it's your best friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, whatever, because I've only done it a couple times, and I'm like 98% sure it doesn't say anything like voicemail from Slide-Dial, or it doesn't do anything weird. But I would just make sure before you do your first call, just to make sure. But I feel like that one would be really convenient for some people, or maybe you might only use it once in your life, but I feel like it's a good thing to know about. All right, the next one is Bumble BFF, and I'm sure you guys have heard of this. It's just like Bumble, the dating app, but it's the BFF version. And so you can just go in your settings, you make your profile, you go in your settings and you select BFF. So you won't see any like when I'm on it, I don't see any guys like trying to get with me or anything. It's just girls trying to find friends. Oh, there's Bella. I've found some really good friends off of here. Sometimes, you know, it takes a while. Like I would say I was messaging with about 10 girls and I think I only met up with about 2 of them. Once I got to like 15 messages, I met up with about 3 of them. So you're definitely not going to click with everyone. But when you do, it's so cool, it's so fun. It's also very hard as a housewife to stay home and meet people at the same time, especially with no kids. I feel like if I had kids, I could go, you know, to mommy and me classes or the library with my kids or school. But as a stay-at-home wife with no kids, I feel sometimes like I don't meet enough people. I mean, of course, there's always the gym or, you know, I do volunteer, so I meet people there. But I just feel like I have benefited a lot from the Bumble BFF. You can also put your age and like what you're looking for, your interests, hobbies, your location, where you live, and you can swipe left or swipe right. So like if I were to find someone that, you know, I didn't think I would click with them, I would just swipe left. And if I found someone that I was like, oh, that'd be cool, like have a conversation with her, I would swipe right, and she has to swipe right also, and then we can connect and, you know, message back and forth. So it's really nice. It's cool because you have to go through kind of a lot of steps to get to meeting in person, just because you both have to swipe right, you both have to message, you both have to feel comfortable enough to meet in person. Then too, even after that, you might not connect in person. I had a couple people that they were great. I hung out with them a couple times, but it just didn't like stick. But one person that I was just talking about with the books, like we go to brunch a lot. We love to talk about books. We're starting actually a book club here near us. And so it's turned into this really awesome thing. The next one is kind of boring, but it's literally the app Walgreens. I only use it for pictures, but it's so handy. I used to go to Meijer and sit there and plug in my phone, and I would have to go through the screen while I was at Meijer, and you have to like go through a screen and everyone like walking by can see your pictures. I know they're not really looking, but it just feels kind of vulnerable and it takes forever. And yeah, so Walgreens you can do right from your phone. And so you can literally just go to photos, you can click which photos you want to do. They have same day pickup, which is huge. And I just love that you can sit at home and do it. So that's kind of boring, but I love that app when I need it. The last app, and this is going to wrap us up for this part 1, it's called Sober Time. And I do not use it for alcohol. I use it for like sweets. I was probably eating a dessert or like junk or sugar once a day to twice a day probably. And once I started using that, I was like way more aware of how much I was eating. So I like now try to go 7 to 14 days without eating a sweet. And I actually started using it because I know someone very close to me that is now sober from alcohol, and he used that, and then I was like, oh, I'm just gonna download that and track my own like addiction. I mean, you know, you really do get addicted to sugar and you don't even realize it, but you're like, oh, you know, I'll have this cookie, like just one cookie here, like one bite here, one bite there. And then when I got that app and like I had to know, like I was like, you know, 4 days clean from dessert, or if I wanted something and I was only like 2 hours, I mean, it just really brings your awareness to what you're putting in your mouth. So I'm sure there's better habit trackers that don't say sober time, like, you know, because I feel like that's more for drugs, but I feel like it still works. So I would say any habit tracker is just key. I actually do maybe want a habit tracker like that can do more, because mine is just like one thing, you're sober from that one thing, which would be normally alcohol. But I would love to have one like, how many cups of water did I drink today? Did I work out today? So more of like a habit tracker, but I do have that in a physical form, but just not on my app, on my phone. So I should look for that actually. That wraps up today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to comment down below if you downloaded one of these or what your favorite app is that you use. All of these are so like handy, easy, free, and some things I use all the time. If you liked today's video, please make sure to subscribe down below and hit the bell for notifications. Bye guys.